Hello friends, so it's springtime and I just couldn't resist painting some peaches because I love that color, and this is a really fun, easy one. So the supplies I'm using is I'm using 140-pound cold press paper, my Artisto Pad Summer. I save all these and reflect back on them. They're a great textured paper, really reasonable. Like I said, 140-pound cold press. They are not 100% cotton, but you guys, these are excellent. And they're even perforated, so you can tear them out if you wanted to maybe frame this and put it in your kitchen. What I'm gonna be painting today, like I said, is this little, beautiful little, peach. And so what I'm going to do, I'm using my 8-round brush. I will link below a Princeton 8-round, or if you are lucky enough to get these Degatos, you get that whole set, you guys, from a large round to a teeny tiny round. These are great. It's like 10 of them for $15 or something. They're Degatos. Excellent. I'm always sharing those with you because if you're a beginner and you don't quite want to make that huge investment, those are perfect. Okay, so I'm using my 8-round. We're going to be doing a wet and wet. I'm going to start with this beautiful kind of lemon yellow. Whoops. I am using my Lane paints because you know I love them. Paul Rubens student. Look at how beautiful they are. I mean, are those peach colors or what? I love all. This is still my absolute favorite palette. Also their pro set. But the colors they put in their palette, sometimes I've gotten a palette and it's like, it's missing a couple colors I really like. This palette, perfect. It's so Debbie. So anyway, I'm going to be using these oranges. I'm going to put some in my palette here. So I'll just put that cad orange. I've got my lemon yellow in there. Going to add water so it's nice and fluid. There we go. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more of that lemony yellow. Add some water, about 50-50. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a darker red in here because I want to go around just the perimeter. So I think I'll go with the, let's put both of these in a palette actually. That isn't quite as dark as I want, so I think I'm going to go with the vermilion. That just has a bit more red in it. So I've got all those ready to go. Look at those beautiful colors, guys. I'm going to put some more water in there so it's a little more fluid. I want it to be like almost water. So if I picked up my palette and moved it, it would move around freely. Now I just dirtied my water, but I've got my wash and my rinse. Love my 2-well meet-in. It looks so pretty on my desk. It's nice and heavy. And I've got my 2, wash and rinse. I've also got a little paper towel here. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go in here. Like I said, this is going to be wet and wet. So I'm going to go in first. I'm not going to get the center wet. I'm going to go into this yellowy color and just start going around the edge. Now that's a little yellow for me, so I think I'll grab and add in some of the cad yellow because it's just a little warmer. And then I am going to avoid, I'm using the side of my brush if you notice here too. I'm going to kind of avoid the center of my peach because I want that to be, you know, the pit and such. So here we go. I'm just creating shininess here. I'm tapping off my brush and I penciled this in so you could see it, but normally I would not make the pencil line so predominant. So while that's shiny, you just want to make it shiny, no puddles. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go in with this color. I might even redden that up a bit. I feel like I want it a little deeper red. There we go. And I'm going to go into the center, just like this, all around the edge. There we go. And then I'll just start using the tip of my brush and kind of create that pit in the middle, which I actually feel like I want to add a little brown to that. So let's grab our brown. I'm going to do you could either do burned brown, you could do one of my favorites, which is the Van Dyke brown. Whichever one you want to use. I really like the burned brown. It's a little darker. And I'm just going to go into the very center and add in a little bit of that. So that's kind of it. I'm going to go around the edges in a minute with a little bit of that orangish color. And then let's do our little half circle here. There we go. So loading my brush, I tapped it off, avoiding this center part again, because that's where I will add in, just wetting my brush a bit. I'll add in those reds and such. And I'm using the side of my brush with some pressure because I want to widen that belly. So there we go, using the tip of my brush, got a nice shiny surface. And now I'll go in with that orange. Doesn't that just look like a peach? So yummy too, right? Okay, go right in here, start adding that in. That was a little much, a little bit more than I wanted. Ooh, don't those look delicious? And then I'll go into the center there with some of those little lines like that. And I might even darken up these lines just a bit. There we go. I love it. Add in some of that brown. Pick up a little bit more of that burned brown. And I'm holding really close to my brush because I want that control. And there we go. Look how gorgeous. I'm going to give this a quick shot with my heat gun. And then we'll go in and add around the edge and we'll be done. Look at how fun those are. Okay. Don't you love one thing about spring? Like I get so excited for all the fruit that comes out. So I'll go around the edge now with that orange, loading my brush, tap it off, and just a fine little line like that. There we go. A little bit more. I'm breaking it up a little bit because I don't want it totally perfect because our fruit's not perfect, right? And then I might even add in a few more little dots now that I dried this. You know how peaches, they kind of have that like little grittiness in them. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's part of the pit, like that. Maybe a few here. I feel like I want to make those brown. Let's grab some of our dark brown. There we go. Ooh, look at that chocolatey brown. And add in there we go. And I am done. What a cute little card this would be for summer, wouldn't it? All right, guys, I hope you give this a try. So much fun. I want to do some pears, dying to do some green pears with maybe a little of their complementary colors. So pears are green, maybe a little bit of orangey red for some shadows. I think that'll be really fun too. All right, happy painting, everybody. Have fun. Happy spring. And thank you so much for being here. You guys make my day. We have, I think, the best little community here. You guys are awesome. I'll see you soon. Bye. Happy painting. You are an artist. All right.